And welcome, Opera Explorer from Irish National Opera. I'm Fergus Shield, Artistic Director of the company, and I'm delighted to bring you this five-part series, which we have every Friday night now for the next 5 weeks, where we're exploring works of the operatic repertoire that are new to our repertoire in Irish National Opera. I'm coming to you live. All of the arias that we have are pre-recorded over the last few weeks in a few different locations in Dublin with some of our top singers. So we're really excited to share those with you. And during the course of tonight's program, you can make some comments or tell us what you think in the chat function of Facebook or YouTube. So we look forward to hearing from you. It's more than a year, of course, since our last live performance to audiences, but it's been a really busy year for Irish National Opera, and one in which we've increased, I think, the profile of the company in lots of different ways, particularly with all our work online. We've done various different concerts, small in scale and large, concerts from artists' own homes and from Dublin Castle and Kilkenny Castle and places like that. We've done a mini-series. We did 20 commissions of new operas, 20 shots of opera, which we brought to the screen last December. And that was hugely well received all over the world. It got tremendous reviews. So we've been really busy. And of course, earlier this year, we had La Bohème in a live stream and concert performance and a CD recording at the Bord Gáis Energy Theatre. And I know many of you will have joined us for that. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoy the music we have in store for you tonight. So just wanted to mention also what we have coming up in the rest of this year. Of course, at the moment, as we speak, it's not possible still to perform live for audiences, but we do hope that that will change over the course of the year. And right now, we're really busy making 3 operas on film, and we'll be sharing these with you in different ways over the coming months. And as the summer comes, throughout June, July, and August, we're going to have a number of outdoor events of different size and scale in collaboration with different places all around the country. We haven't announced them quite yet, so keep in touch with our website, and we'll be making announcements soon of different events throughout June, July, and August, including one spectacularly large, ambitious project, which I can't wait to share with you. But if you pay attention closely to this series, you might get a clue as to what it is. As the autumn progresses, we hope to be back in theatres, and we've got 4 opera productions between September and Christmas. So we're really bursting at the seams with excitement about what we're going to share with you, our audience, in the months ahead. We've lots more online events, we've CDs coming out, and just so many different types of events that we're planning. One of the joys of my job, of course, is to imagine future seasons and future programs and artists that are going to appear with us. And a lot of the operas that we're thinking about for the next 2, 3, 4 years will feature throughout this 5-part series. So if you watch carefully, you'll get a few clues as to what's coming down the tracks at you. We have 30 arias. We're going to share with you 5 of them tonight, but 30 in total from 20 different operas by 17 composers, sung by 10 different singers and 2 very hard-working pianists. So there's quite a lot of music to enjoy, and all of the music is from operas by composers that we have not yet featured in Irish National Opera. And of course, some of these are really major composers. We have tonight Donizetti and Bellini. In subsequent programs, we'll have people like Wagner, Strauss, Beethoven, Gounod, Massenet, and lots of Russian composers, Tchaikovsky, Rimsky, Borodin, lots of people like that. So there's lots and lots of operas that we haven't yet done and that we're looking forward to doing in the years ahead, and we hope that you'll enjoy them with us. We're also speaking to a number of living composers who we're featuring in the next few years. And tonight, after we hear the 5 arias from the singers, we'll have a chance to catch up with Gerald Barry. So we look forward to that. But right now, we'll go to the music, and we have arias from 4 fantastic operas, I Puritani, La Sonnambula, and Norma, all 3 of those by Bellini, and then we have Donizetti's Lucia di Lammermoor. And the singers we have tonight, of course, include Claudia Boyle, who's going to start and end the programme. And in between, we'll hear from Gyula Nagy, John Molloy, and Naomi Louisa O'Connell. And I asked each of the singers if they would just give a little introduction to the aria before they sing it. So as we go, we're going to hear all 5 arias now in a row, and the singers themselves will introduce and tell you a little bit about the arias. But if you'd like to find out more, I'd encourage you to go to our website, where you can download a program book for free of the entire series, and you'll get lots of background information on the composers and the arias. So please go onto our website on the Friday Opera Explorers page and download the program, and you'll get lots of information about not just tonight's music, but the music to come in subsequent weeks. So we hope you enjoy it. Sit back now and enjoy these 5 arias from some of our wonderful top singers. Thank you.
Here, Elvira, in one of the most famous mad scenes, sings of her sorrow as she thinks she has been betrayed by her beloved Arturo. And in this beautiful aria, it's just a quintessential example of bel canto, qui la voce sua soave. So it's a beautiful, linear, expansive line over a rippling accompaniment in the orchestra.
Count Rodolfo returns to the village of his youth. As he looks around the mill and the fountains and the fields, he remembers his youth when all was tranquil and serene. He remembers that he will never be able to experience those days again.
Non trovo This is from Norma by Vincenzo Bellini. Adalgisa, who is a high priestess, is waiting in the woods for her lover. She is cheating. She is torn between God and this man. And this is what she says.
In the opera Lucia di Lammermoor, as usual, the soprano falls in love with the tenor and the baritone gets the raging scene. Now, in Enrico's aria, Enrico is suspicious that his sister, Lucia, is in love with his enemy, and in the second half of the aria, his suspicions are confirmed.
Cruda, funesta, smania, tu m'hai svegliata in petto, è troppo orribile, questo fatal sospetto mi fa celare fremere, solleva in fronte il crin, mi fa celare fremere, solleva in fronte il crin. Colma di tanto proprio, chi suora me nascea, pria che l'amor ci perverrà, me svelare ti rea, se ti colpisse un fulmine, se ti colpisse un fulmine, foramen rio dolor, foramen rio, foramen rio dolor. La pietà in suo favore miti sensi il vanti detta, se mi parli di vendetta solo intenderti potrò, sciagurati il mio furore già suoi tremendo rugge, e mia fiamma che distrugge, io col sangue spegnerò, io col sangue, e mia fiamma che distrugge, spegnerò, col sangue spegnerò, sì, spegnerò, sì, spegnerò, 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 spegnerò.
Donizetti is one of my most favourite composers to sing. He writes so beautifully and so well for the voice, the female voice, especially lyric coloratura sopranos. And here we have Lucia in Regnava nel silenzio, and she sings about a dream she had in which a ghost appeared to her at a fountain. And as Donizetti writes so well, she talks of how the water runs red with blood and he shows the blood through the rippling coloratura. And then there's a great cabaletta as she sings of her love for her beloved.
Thank you so much to Claudia and to all of our performers there. What a joyous selection of arias, to Claudia, to John, Gyula, Naomi, and of course on piano, Aoife and Gary. Thank you so much for your wonderful performances. It's great to unwind at the end of the week with some amazing music. And my question to you in the audience is, of those 4 operas that you've heard, 3 by Bellini and 1 by Donizetti, which one would you choose? If you could choose the future for Irish National Opera, would you love La Sonnambula, beautiful aria about sleepwalking? Would you take I Puritani? Or would you take Norma, the High Priestess? Or would you go for Lucia di Lammermoor? Now, we may have stacked the odds a little bit by giving you 2 arias from Lucia di Lammermoor, but there we go. Let us know your thoughts. One of the joys, as I was saying, that we have is to look forward to the time when we can do these wonderful operas from the historic repertoire and perform them for you. And we have some really incredible treats coming up in terms of this repertoire. We'll be doing our first Donizetti opera soon, and it'll be something to really look forward to. There we go. As well as the historic repertoire, of course, we at Irish National Opera are really excited by new operas. And we've so far worked with lots of different composers, most especially in our 20 Shots of Opera, but also in lots of other ways. And one of the operas that we were planning to do right now is Gerald Barry's Alice's Adventures Underground. This is a co-production that we planned with the Royal Opera House in London. The Royal Opera House did perform it in February of last year, before the lockdown, and we were due to perform it this year, right now in May, next month. And of course, we can't perform it for you as we originally intended, but what we've done is that we've taken some of the techniques that we used for 20 Shots of Opera, and we're turning this opera into a film. It's not going to be a film in the way that you would just capture a performance of a live opera, but it's actually going to be created specially for film, led by Hugh O'Connor as the film director and Hugh Challoner, who worked with us on 20 Shots of Opera. And of course, the magical production, which is directed by Anthony MacDonald and features our good friend Claudia Boyle in the title role as Alice. So we're working on that right now. We'll have it available for you later in the year. In October and November, we're going to present you with the film and with a new CD recording of the opera, which we're making also in conjunction with Signum Classics. So lots to look forward to there. And I don't know if many of you know the opera Alice's Adventures by Gerald Barry. So I thought we would sit down with Gerald, and I caught up with him a few days ago in our Irish National Opera office. And we sat down and we talked about this opera. And I'd just like to play you that interview with Gerald now. He's such an entertaining character, and it's great to get an insight into his world. And after that, we have a short excerpt from the opera. This is with a screen with some photos of the production, so that you can see a little bit visually what we're going to look forward to. The performance in this case that we're going to play for you is from the Barbican, where it was performed a number of years ago with Barbara Hannigan singing the soprano role. So you'll hear her in a moment, and a slideshow of photos from our production, which will be part of what we'll show you on film. So let's sit back and listen to my conversation with Gerald and a little excerpt from the opera then to follow. Thank you. Gerald, thank you for talking to us. And tell me, you've written lots of operas, and Alice's Adventures Underground is your latest completed one.
Well, no, my latest completed one is Salome.
Oh, you finished it? I didn't know you finished. That's great. Okay, well, the latest one that has been performed, probably. And tell me, is writing an opera, it must be a really all-consuming task, is it?
Well, I suppose it is. Though everything that you're working on is all-consuming at the time, but an opera is a bigger thing, obviously, and it's very hard to find a subject for an opera. Very incredibly hard. You know, after Debussy wrote Pelléas, he searched for without success for another subject. So it's harder than people think. There's a big Oscar Wilde connection with Alice. In fact, I realized Alice is incredibly like The Importance of Being Honest in terms of wit, and they're both they're unhinged and crazed, and it's the same kind of humor and roughly the same period, same era. And it occurs to me that with this opera that I've just written, Salome, that's of course an Oscar Wilde play. And that also has shares same qualities as with Ernest and Alice. It's the same kind of subversion or inversion or turning things on their head. And it was because the first performance of the Wilde Salome was in Paris, in French, in this theatre. And I had the most extraordinary experience. My opera, The Importance of Being Honest, was done in Paris in a wonderful production by this guy, Julian Chavez. Yeah, and it turned out to be in the theatre where Wilde's Salome was premiered in 1890 something. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. I didn't know that. I googled it, and I saw, and it's this exquisite theatre. It's actually not. It's around the corner from the original Paris opera, the Palais Garnier. And so in Salome, I cut it back as I did. I cut half of Ernest, the text. I cut about half of Salome as well. And when you cut half of Salome, you find it turns into almost The Importance of Being Honest. And there's some incredibly funny things in it, incredibly witty, and again crazy things. I mean, Wilde obviously had a very strong crazy streak, and
Alice
is like that too.
Is it difficult to be funny when you're writing an opera? Because I think Importance of Being Earnest is very funny. Alice's Adventures is very funny. I haven't seen Salome.
Salome is very funny too.
Your music, your operas are very funny, very engaging, and I wonder, it's not something you would say about a lot of contemporary opera. You don't go there for laughs a lot of the time. But so is that difficult?
I never think about it, you see. Well, you can't be funny if you set out to be funny. You have to have a funny bone, you know. So I just was born with that thing, you know. I remember once, actually, one of my brothers, he was much older than me, beat me up. And I lay on the floor and pretended to be dead to punish him. And, he just walked away, and I was sort of beaten and bruised. I lay there, I thought, I'm going to punish you now, I'm going to pretend I'm dead, and then you'll suffer. And, so I lay there for hours. I used to hear people coming and looking at me and then going away, and obviously people just didn't care. And then after hours of trying to hold my breath when people would come, I could hear the smell of cooking from the tea downstairs, and I got tired of pretending to be dead and no one caring, so I got up. So I suppose it's anyway, that kind of thing is in me.
Yeah, I guess so. So Gerald, when you sit down to write the beginning of an opera, part one, do you have a sense of what the architecture is going to be, how big it is, how long, how many scenes, how it's going to unfold?
It's completely random. I mean, it can be that you might write the end first, you know, or because you're feeling your way along. It's, you know, completely intuitive, and you receive things as they come to you, and you use music that you might have written in the past. I mean, like in The Importance of Being Earnest, I used music from 1974 when I was 22 or something. And so you're like a bank manager or someone with a bank account, and you know the lodgements you've made, you know what money is there, if there is any. And so you know that you can go and take a sum at a certain time when you need it. And so with a thing like an opera, which is on a large canvas, it's like a landscape, really. You're looking at the landscape, and in your peripheral vision, you see something that you already have done that can be slotted in, or that will lead to something else. And so it's a game of chance, really.
And what do you think of the fact that we're taking Alice's Adventures, which was written and already performed in a theatre, and we're going to make a film out of it? You've written, one of your operas was written for television, of course.
That's right, yeah,
Triumph of Beauty and Deceit for Channel 4. But this wasn't written for television, it was written for the Royal Opera House in London and for Irish National Opera. We're co-producing it. So do you think it will translate well to film?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. In fact, I remember the soprano Barbara Hannigan saying to me that everything I've done, all the operas, are already produced in themselves. When a concert performance is done, it's the same as the staging. So, but with a concert performance, the audience, their imagination can roam wherever it wants. And I remember Barbara saying that the way my operas come out, they are already in some way staged. And because they're quite spare in their use of gestures, and somehow the language and the dramatic or theatrical aspects are thought out, you know, just in the way that, say, Beckett with his plays would specify this and that. In my opera scores, things are specified. The movements are often very exact, and I will indicate in the score how people should be on stage, and so they're already tailor-made for film or whatever. You know, they just fit.
Great. And lastly, you mentioned about Salome, which you've written. It hasn't yet been premiered. Have you many more operas you're going to write?
I have no idea for another one at the moment. You know, I don't know. Maybe Salome will be my last. I'm not sure.
I hope not.
Yeah, but anyway, of course, all the performances of Salome have been cancelled because of COVID.
I'm sure it'll get rescheduled.
Hope so.
Thanks very much, Gerald.
Okay.
Thank you for coming and speaking to us today.
Thank you.
I shall be too late!
Thank you. I hope that little excerpt there gives you a flavour of the madcap wildness and the frenetic energy of Gerald Barry's opera Alice's Adventures Underground. We're really excited to produce it. Our rehearsals begin tomorrow. A number of our cast, our conductor, our director, designer who are coming from abroad have been locked up in hotels, quarantining for the last week or so, ready to be released tomorrow morning and into the rehearsal studio. So that's really exciting. The costumes have arrived, the set's on the way. We're going to film it in the National Opera House in Wexford. So it's a busy few weeks ahead. Over the next 5 weeks, while we're enjoying this Friday night get together, there'll be a lot of work going on behind the scenes on Alice's Adventures. Well, that's it for tonight. I want to thank everybody who took part, all our performers who sung for us earlier, who played for us, and to Gerald for joining us. I want to thank our supporters, many of whom are online and have joined us and made some wonderful comments tonight. It seems like Norma is the opera everybody wants to see of the ones we featured this evening, which is really great to know. This is like our little bit of audience research that we're doing. I'd like to also thank Fedora, the European network of philanthropists who have supported this series, and also to our colleagues at the Bord Gáis Energy Theatre and Goethe Institute, where some of our videos were shown, as well as were filmed, as well as some filmed in our own office in Dame Street. Next week, we'll be exploring Beethoven's Fidelio and some Wagner. So it's a German theme next week, and we'll have some of the same performers, all of whom you heard tonight will be back over the next few weeks, plus new performers to introduce you to. And we will also speak to composer Emma O'Halloran and see what she's up to. And we'll be speaking live to her in the course of the evening. So thank you most importantly to the Arts Council, who's our sponsor or our funder, without whom nothing would be possible. We're eternally grateful for your support, especially through this difficult period when we've been keeping as much activity going in the area of opera as we can. I hope you enjoyed tonight. Thank you very much, everybody, and I look forward to seeing you next week for next Friday's opera exploration.